Good filmmaking is invisible. All film departments which come together to produce a movie share a common goal. That goal is to go unnoticed. This is because a successful film causes viewers to forget they are watching a movie. Complete immersion, bending the invisible line that exists between audience and story. Because of this, ego must be largely extinct at all stages of the process. Every decision made by a costume designer, set decorator, or lighting technician has the same intention. That intention being, what will best serve the movie we are trying to make? But what does this look like practically? Let's use the example of screenwriting. If a film's writing is good, then nobody should notice it. Writers who learn the craft of writing in prose first may struggle with the dry nature of screenplays. Writing a screenplay and writing, say, a novel are two vastly different skills. While poetic ability, which is so valuable in other written fiction, can be shown off through the writing of dialogue or narration, much of the craft of developing a script is structural. It's more of a blueprint for a film. There are many screenwriting rules and conventions. However, a screenwriter's ability to make the movie he is writing exist in the mind of those who read his script is more important than any of these rules. This is exemplified best in Scott Beck and Brian Wood's screenplay for A Quiet Place. Writing a film that is mostly without dialogue is an arduous task. The way Beck and Woods were able to communicate their vision to their readers was by breaking convention. This script is unique because it uses images and charts to give readers an idea of what the movie would look like. This, paired with its loose relationship to format, shows that script conventions are only as good as their ability to convey what a movie could be. The goal of a screenwriter is the same goal shared by every movie department, and that goal is to serve the congruence and success of the film. Like screenwriting, acting is good when it's invisible. Even acting is only as good as its ability to gel with the tone the film is trying to set and the emotions the director is trying to evoke. Thinking that there is no shift in the definition of good acting from one movie to another is a flawed assumption. A director like Ken Loach pursues a grounded and realistic feel for his movies. A successful performance in a film like Sorry We Missed You makes the story feel like it has actually happened.
I'm doing my best, Seb.
Maybe your best isn't good enough, is it?
No, it's not, is it?
No.
I want it better for you. I want it better for Liza.
However, realism is only sometimes the target a director is aiming at. Yorgos Lanthimos, especially in his early American work, had his actors deliver their lines monotonely.
We should go soon.
Yeah, it's early.
He's got surgery in the morning. He needs to get some sleep.
It's still early.
We've got surgery in the morning.
Fine, okay.
Lanthimos is not attempting to make realistic films akin to the work of Loach. However, they are both directors with a vision they are trying to fulfill with their movies. And it is only by all of the film workers having a clear understanding of that vision that it can be translated onto the screen. A statement like good filmmaking should be invisible could be refuted by acting, as it seems to be the most visible aspect of the film. An actor's job is to be visible. However, it isn't the case that the actors are free to act in movies as they wish, delivering whatever performance they think is right. They are just as anchored to a movie's unified vision as a screenwriter or sound editor is. At the beginning of this video, I referenced an invisible line between the story and the audience. The interaction that any piece of art has with those who experience it is the very purpose of art. In his book, What is Art?, Leo Tolstoy answers the question on the book's cover. Tolstoy writes, "To evoke in oneself a feeling one has once experienced, and having evoked it in oneself, then, by means of movement, lines, colors, sounds, or forms expressed in words, so to transmit that feeling that others may experience the same feeling. This is the activity of art." By this definition, film is a work of art that expresses an emotion or feeling that the screenwriter or director once had. Transmitting this feeling onto those who experience the movie is, in essence, the goal of film workers. When I say good filmmaking is invisible, I want to highlight the common goal between filmmakers of going unnoticed. However, the most critical hidden aspects of filmmaking are the relationships a movie carries between itself and those making it, and between itself and those watching it. While I did talk about the invisible efforts made by filmmakers to suck viewers into their stories, we haven't talked about why they do what they do, the hidden relationship that they have with their work. As anyone who is fueled by their creative passion knows, it isn't the quality of one's work or any financial gain that makes them fall in love with their craft. It's the work itself. One of my favorite quotes regarding creative work comes from Tom Sachs, who said, "The reward for good work is more work." Making a career out of something you love to do is a privilege. However, filmmakers and their work is just one of 3 filmic layers. This layer, layer 1, is production. This includes all the methods utilized and the work that goes into pre-production, production, and post-production. Layer 2 is the film itself, as a complete audio-visual work of art. Then there is a film as it is perceived by the audience, which makes up layer 3. Let's break down how this works. In this scene from Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, the first layer comprises all that went into making this scene exist. This includes creating this futuristic set, how the shots are lit, and the actors' performances. Layer 2 is the finished product, the sights and sounds in sequence that made it into the movie's final cut. The scene concerns these 2 astronauts, trying to get some privacy to discuss HAL, their ship's AI, and whether he is betraying them. So they go into this pod where they can't be heard. In the first layer is the filmmaker's choice to show HAL, and then single out the characters' mouths as they talk. Because of these behind-the-scenes decisions, the film itself, the second layer, appears how it does. Layer 1, the production, creates layer 2, the finished film. And layer 2 informs layer 3, the viewer's perception. If layer 1 is the choices made by the filmmaker to show HAL and then show the character's lips, and layer 2 is the culmination of these choices, layer 3 is the understanding given to the audience through visual storytelling that HAL is reading the other 2 characters' lips. Between the second and third layer is the relationship between the viewer and the film. And the work done in layer 1 informs how immersed the viewer will be in the story. What is the most effective tool a filmmaker has at their disposal? Is it the camera they shoot their movies on, the script they're bringing to life, the music that is enhancing the emotions of every scene? A good filmmaker understands that the tool they have access to, which is most important to utilize, is the minds of those watching their films. A good movie invites active interpretation, speculation, and interaction.
The audience actually wants to work for their meal. They just don't want to know that they're doing that.
This is Andrew Stanton, the director behind Pixar classics like Finding Nemo and WALL-E. In his TED Talk from 2012, he talks about many different aspects of storytelling and tools at a storyteller's disposal, including what he calls
the unifying theory of 2 + 2. Make the audience put things together. Don't give them 4, give them 2 + 2. The elements you provide and the order you place them in is crucial to whether you succeed or fail at engaging the audience.
This concept, the unifying theory of 2 + 2, illustrates the power that is an audience's perception. A good movie gives more clues than precise answers. Ambiguity and subtext are what makes an audience member lean forward in their seat and interact actively with a film. I want to talk about 2 quotes about perception. "There is no truth. There is only perception," said by Gustave Flaubert. Possibly more straightforward is Lee Atwater saying, "Perception is reality." Perception is, of course, how we, as sensory beings, interpret the world. What makes art so powerful is its ability to manipulate perception. Much of art does this in a more emotional or even physically reactionary sense, like when a poem moves you to tears or a song is impossible for you to listen to without moving your body. These can rapidly shift a mood or an outlook on one's condition, thus shifting perception. However, aside from possibly video games, cinema, out of all the forms art takes, is one of the most daft manipulators of perception. This is because film utilizes 2 senses, sight and sound. When paired with methods forcing audiences to interact with the work mentally, it opens people up to submerging themselves in a new point of view. Good filmmaking leads to complete immersion. Good filmmaking is invisible because the finished film is literally more than the sum of its parts, transcending the work that went into it and causing the viewer not only to forget that what they are watching is a produced and manufactured work, but also that they are watching a movie at all. Good filmmaking can temporarily change a viewer's perception, meaning that, if Flaubert is to be believed, good filmmaking has the power to change a viewer's reality.